The late reservation. The Novadine Galactic Restaurant sparkled like a diamond in the sky. It floated above the clouds on a platform only the rich and powerful could reach. Soft music played, and robot servers moved between tables, carrying dishes that glowed with exotic colors. In the middle of it all, a young black woman named Ava quietly checked the table settings. She wore a simple white apron over her dark blue uniform. Her hair was tied back neatly, and she moved with calm grace. She greeted every guest with a soft smile and respectful nod. To most people, Ava looked like just another waitress, but tonight, she was more than that. She stood near the VIP section, making sure everything was perfect. Only a few guests had special passes to sit there. The tables were made from moonstone. The chairs floated slightly above the floor, and each plate was programmed to match the guest's taste. Suddenly, the silence broke. The front doors flew open, and a loud voice echoed through the hall. "Where is my table?" Everyone turned to look. A tall, flashy man in a golden jacket stormed in. His boots clicked loudly as he walked. He wore shiny glasses and too many rings. People whispered his name. Mr. Denton, a famous intergalactic millionaire, known for his money and his ego. He stomped straight to the front desk. "I'm here for my VIP table," he said. The host blinked. "Sir, I don't see your name on the list." "I don't need a list," Denton snapped. "I'm Denton. Just give me a table and tell that waitress to move." The host looked helpless. Ava stepped forward calmly. "Good evening, sir. I'm Ava. I'd be happy to assist you," she said kindly. "But the VIP section is full tonight, without a booking." Before she could finish, Denton raised his hand. "Are you serious? You're just staff. You don't talk to me like that." Ava's smile faded just a little, but she stayed polite. "I understand, sir. I only meant—" "You meant nothing," Denton shouted. "You're not even dressed properly. I've seen cleaning bots with better uniforms." A few guests gasped. Denton leaned closer. "People like you shouldn't even be in a place like this. This is a restaurant for high-class people." Ava took a deep breath. She glanced around. Guests were watching. The other staff were frozen in place. She looked down at the bracelet on her wrist. It was a simple silver band with one glowing blue dot. She tapped it once. The dot turned red for 1 second, then back to blue. No one noticed. Ava looked back up. "Sir, you're welcome to wait at the bar while we see what we can do." But Denton wasn't done. "You think I'm going to sit at the bar like some nobody?" He laughed. "You know what? I want to speak to the owner. Right now." Ava nodded. "As you wish." Denton smirked. "Finally, someone with power. I'll have this place fixed in 5 minutes." Ava stepped away calmly. Behind her back, her bracelet blinked twice. In the staff-only area, a hidden screen turned on. A security protocol began running quietly in the background. Back in the hall, Denton kept talking. "She must be new," he said loudly to a nearby guest. "Back in my day, we fired people like her on the spot." The guest didn't respond. Most people just looked uncomfortable now. Some took out their devices and started recording. Ava returned a few minutes later. She handed him a small glowing card. "What's this?" he asked. "Your owner access request," she said calmly. "Please keep it safe. The owner is aware." Denton scoffed. "Good. Maybe they'll teach you your place." Ava just smiled slightly. Inside her mind, a message played from the system. "Protocol activated. Owner presence confirmed. Observation mode on." As Denton leaned back and waited for the owner to come out, he had no idea that she was already standing right in front of him. The owner observed silently. Mr. Denton sat at the bar, loudly complaining to anyone who would listen. "This is why I hate these new high-tech places," he said, sipping a glowing drink he didn't even order. "You give one of them a uniform, and suddenly they think they run the place." Some guests frowned but stayed quiet. A few recorded him from behind their glasses. The staff behind the bar looked nervous. Across the room, Ava stood in the shadows of the control room. A transparent screen hovered in front of her, displaying real-time data. It showed Denton's name, past visits, his behavior profile, and most importantly, his current arrogance level, high. A soft voice came through her earpiece. Owner protocol fully active. Would you like to take over now? Ava answered with a quiet, not yet. She wasn't just the owner of Novodean Galactic, she was its founder, architect, and designer. Every inch of this restaurant was her creation. From the floating tables to the self-cleaning floors, she had built it all with love, intelligence, and vision. And tonight, she was testing something new, disrespect detection AI, and Denton had triggered every alert. Back at the bar, Denton yelled, "Where is the owner? I've waited long enough. If they don't come out now, I'm shutting this place down." Ava walked out from the shadows and approached quietly. But she didn't speak yet. She just watched. Denton didn't even notice her. A robotic server rolled by, offering tiny glowing bites of galaxy fruit. Denton shoved the tray away. "I don't want alien snacks. I want results." Finally, the maitre d' returned and said, "Sir, the owner is already present." Denton stood up quickly. "Good. Where is he?" Ava stepped forward, calm and quiet. "I'm here." Denton turned to face her and laughed. No, I said the owner, not the waitress." Ava looked him in the eye. Her bracelet lit up. Behind her, a large holo screen turned on for all guests to see. It showed an official document. Owner of Novodean Galactic, Dr. Ava Monroe. The crowd gasped. Denton's mouth dropped open. "Wait, what?" Ava nodded. "I'm the one you were yelling at. I built this place from scratch. I hired the staff. I designed the technology. And I trained every person who works here, including the ones you insulted." The restaurant went silent. Denton stuttered. "But you're just..." Ava's face stayed calm. "I'm just what?" she asked. He didn't answer. She took a step closer. "You called me names. You looked down on me. You disrespected every rule and person in this building because you thought I was just stuff." Denton started sweating. Ava raised her hand. A panel opened on the wall. Security bots rolled out slowly, surrounding him. "Please don't," he whispered. "I didn't know." Ava said, "Now you do." The guests were still silent until someone clapped. Then another, and another. Soon the room was full of applause. Ava didn't smile. Not yet. She only said one thing. "Escort Mr. Denton to the exit. He's banned for life." The bots moved in. Denton tried to speak, but the noise of the clapping drowned him out. As the doors slid shut behind him, Ava finally turned to the guests and said, "Sorry for the noise. Please enjoy the rest of your evening." She walked back toward the kitchen, calm and proud. No crown, no fancy clothes, just a bracelet glowing red, with power. Denton's secret plan. Outside the Novodean Galactic restaurant, Mr. Denton stood frozen, his face red with anger and shame. The doors closed behind him with a hiss. "She embarrassed me, in front of everyone," he muttered. He looked around, then took out a small black device from his coat pocket. It blinked with green lights. He wasn't just a rich man. He was part of an elite investor group that bought and sold businesses across the galaxy. And now, he had a new goal: destroy Ava's restaurant. Back inside, Ava reviewed the restaurant's security footage from her office. The AI softly said, "Threat level from Mr. Denton, now marked as active." Ava nodded. She wasn't surprised. She had seen people like Denton before, men who couldn't handle a woman in power, especially a black woman who owned something they thought should be theirs. She leaned forward and said, "Run full surveillance trace. I want to know who he contacts next." Meanwhile, Denton entered a sleek black hover car. Inside was a shady man wearing a dark visor. "Did you get thrown out?" the man asked, smirking. "She humiliated me," Denton growled. "We need to hit her where it hurts." The man handed Denton a tablet. "We can file a fake health report. Get the place shut down for violations. A few clicks and boom. Closed within 48 hours. Denton smiled. "Perfect. I'll make her regret ever speaking to me like that." They both laughed, unaware that every word was being recorded, by Ava's surveillance drone flying silently overhead. Back at the restaurant, Ava's assistant, Juno, burst into her office. "Ma'am, they're already moving. A fake report is being sent to the Galactic Food Authority. Denton's behind it." Ava stood up calmly. "Let them try." She pressed a button on her desk. Behind her, a hidden wall opened, revealing rows of evidence files, secret AI backups, and something that looked like a legal missile. "I didn't build this place without protection," Ava said softly. "He thinks I'm just a waitress. He's about to find out who I really am." That night, while Denton celebrated with drinks on his private yacht, a small red light blinked on his communicator. He opened it and froze. It was a legal notice from Dr. Ava Munro. Charges: defamation, digital sabotage, and racist harassment. Attached was a full video of him insulting her, followed by a voice recording of his plan to fake the health report. His smile vanished. He dropped the tablet. "Oh, we've been caught." His shady partner stood up. "We're done. I'm not going to prison over this." Denton stuttered, "No, wait. We can fix this." But it was too late. At Novadine, Ava stood on the rooftop balcony, looking over the glowing city. The stars above twinkled. The restaurant below buzzed with happy voices. Juno stepped beside her. He's panicking. His partners are jumping ship. Ava nodded. "Gullish," she said. "He started a war. He forgot one thing." She turned to the camera and said quietly, "I don't lose battles in my own house." The inspection trap. The next morning, the Novadine Galactic restaurant looked peaceful, but Ava knew a storm was coming. In her office, the AI system pinged. "Incoming. Galactic Food Authority Inspector. Arrival in 10 minutes. Ava didn't panic. She expected it. Juno, her assistant, frowned. "They're sending an inspector already? Denton's plan is moving fast." Ava replied calmly, "Let them come. We set the trap." At exactly 9 o'clock am, a tall woman in a gray uniform entered the restaurant. Her eyes were cold. She was holding a scanner and a clipboard. "GFA Inspector Mira, I'm here for a surprise inspection," she said with a strict voice. Ava, still wearing her simple waitress apron, nodded politely. "Of course, please follow me." Other staff whispered, watching closely. The inspector scanned tables, dishes, kitchen equipment, checking every corner. She tried to find any mistake. The fridge temperature is perfect. Floors are spotless. Even the air filters are clean." She looked confused. "This place is flawless." Ava smiled gently. "We run a clean house here." Then she walked over to a panel on the wall and tapped her bracelet. The panel slid open, revealing hidden security footage on a screen. Inspector Mira's eyes widened. "What's this?" she asked. Ava pressed play. It was the video of Mr. Denton and his partner planning to sabotage the inspection. They said they would bribe someone from inside the GFA. Ava said, watching Mira closely, "I hope you're not that person." Inspector Mira froze. She knew she was being tested, but she stood up straight. "I don't take bribes," she said. "I didn't know someone tried to manipulate my assignment." Ava nodded. "Then we're on the same side." Back in his sky yacht, Denton was smiling. He believed the inspection would shut down Ava's restaurant within hours. His phone rang. He answered quickly. "Is it done?" But the voice on the other side wasn't what he expected. "Mr. Denton," said a cold voice. "This is the Galactic Food Authority. You are under investigation for attempted fraud and interference with federal inspection." Denton's face turned pale. "Oh, wait, I didn't mean." The line went dead. He looked up. Police drones were already outside his yacht. "Open the door. This is a federal order." At Novadine, the inspector handed Ava a gold-stamped paper. "Official result. Passed with excellence." Ava took it with a smile. Then she looked at the camera above and said calmly, "Next time you try to bring me down, Mr. Denton, make sure you know who you're messing with." Juno asked quietly, "Is it over?" Ava shook her head. "No, he won't stop this easily. But now, We go public. She turned to the holo screen, where her legal team was waiting. Release the footage. All of it. The galaxy needs to see what happened. That night, the video went viral. People all over the galaxy watched as Denton insulted a kind black waitress, only to be exposed as a liar and fraud. Ava's face became known, not just as a waitress, but as the powerful, fearless owner of the most respected restaurant chain in the stars. The galaxy responds. The sun rose over Novadine Galactic the next day, but the world had already changed. Ava's holo clip had spread to every media platform across the stars. News anchors were talking non-stop. Waitress turns out to be owner of Galaxy's top restaurant. Racist millionaire tries to ruin her, ends up under arrest. In just hours, Ava's name became known in every colony, from Earth Prime to the moons of Neptune. Inside the restaurant, Ava sat at her favorite booth, sipping coffee. She wore no makeup, no rich clothes, just her usual apron. But now, people walked by slowly, staring. One guest whispered, "That's her, the owner." Another said, "She's the one who destroyed Denton." Staff were proud. Customers were respectful. But not everyone was happy. Juno ran in holding a datapad. "Ava!" Denton posted bail. "He's out." Ava raised an eyebrow. "Already?" Juno nodded. "And he's furious. He made a public statement. He's calling you a liar and a thief in disguise. Says you hacked your way into success." Ava stood slowly. She didn't panic. She didn't shout. She just whispered, "Then he'll learn what real power looks like." Later that night, Denton appeared on a shady holo podcast. He looked angry, sweaty, nervous. "I'm telling you," he said, pointing at the camera, "she used tricks, mind control, or AI corruption. That place is fake." People watching started laughing in the comments. One user posted, "Bro's mad a waitress turned out to be his boss." Another, "Imagine yelling at the owner and thinking you're smart." His followers began to leave. Even sponsors pulled out. Back at Novadine, Juno spoke to Ava. "We just got offers for new restaurant locations on Mars, Europa, even Earth HQ." Ava smiled. "We'll grow, but on our terms." Suddenly, her bracelet buzzed. A new message appeared from someone unexpected. From United Galactic Trade Board. "Ms. Ava, we'd like to offer you a seat on the Intergalactic Business Council." Juno gasped. That's a government-level seat." Ava looked thoughtful. "So now they care. Because I went viral." She didn't say yes or no. Instead, she walked outside and watched as people passed by. Some waved. Some nodded. Some bowed. Ava just smiled. She was still the same woman who cleaned tables, carried trays, and took orders. But now the universe knew the truth. And that truth was power. The final reveal weeks passed. The Novadine Galactic restaurant was more popular than ever. Reporters came and went. Celebrities booked months in advance. Even ambassadors from other star systems requested tables. But Ava stayed the same. She still wore her apron, still helped the new staff, still greeted each guest like family. But behind the scenes, she was building something much bigger. In her private office, a quiet room filled with star maps and glowing screens, Ava sat with Juno and her legal team. On the main display was Denton's face. "He's suing again," Juno said. "Claims defamation. Says we ruined his name." Ava chuckled. "He did that himself." One lawyer added, "We have a counter case ready. Evidence, recordings, and every message he sent during the scandal." Ava nodded. "Let's give him a fair fight, so he loses in front of the entire galaxy." The court hearing was streamed live to over 200 planets. Ava sat calmly on one side, wearing her apron. Denton wore an expensive suit. He looked angry, bitter, and scared. The judge was a robotic AI, fair and fast. Denton shouted, "She tricked me. She used her looks to make me think she was nothing." Ava stood and replied softly, "You didn't need a trick. You decided what I was based on your hate." She showed the footage, the words, the threats. The court fell silent. The judgment came quickly. Denton, guilty. Fined 20 million credits. Barred from owning businesses for 10 years. Gasps filled the court. Cameras flashed. But Ava didn't smile. She just bowed her head, calm and graceful. Outside the court, a reporter rushed toward her. "Ms. Ava, any comment on your victory?" She looked at the camera. This was never about victory. It was about showing that we all belong. No matter what we wear, no matter where we come from. The clip went viral again. That night, Ava returned to Novadine. She walked through the kitchen, high-fived a new cook, then stepped into the main hall. Every guest stood and clapped. Not for a celebrity, not for a CEO, but for a woman who stood tall in the face of hate and proved that respect is stronger than money. As she cleared a table near the window, one young girl looked up at her and said, "Miss Ava, when I grow up, I want to own a restaurant like you." Ava smiled and knelt down. "You already do. You just have to believe it and never let anyone stop you." And with that, Ava walked away, the stars shining bright outside. Because sometimes the real power doesn't come from being the richest. It comes from knowing who you are and never backing down.